Practicing the kata of the pre-1600 Koryu should be as exhausting, exhilarating and challenging as any sparring session. This is because these kata require and teach the same high level of combat athleticism, which is to say they require and teach at least the same level of dexterity, coordination, reflexes, timing, judgment of distance and agility. This was essential for these Koryu if their kata-dependent methodology was to be at least as effective as sparring at teaching battlefield combat skills. So how did they do this? Over and over again, kata practice has been shown to be inferior to sparring when it comes to developing combat athletic attributes. And the vast majority of online demonstrations of Koryu kata do nothing to contradict this. In this video we'll be explaining how in fact it was possible, and to do so we will be using a kata from the curriculum of the Kotori Shinto-ryu, Izuzu no Tachi. We don't generally take the kata of other ryu, we have more than enough of our own. We did so purely for the purposes of this video. So how did the Koryu kata, and how can the Koryu kata, require the same level of combat athleticism as sparring? Of huge importance in this is the design of the kata itself. When they designed these kata, the Koryu were interested in far more than simply replicating combat literally. In my book, Flawless Deception, I go into much greater detail about the unique complexity of these kata. However, for the purposes of this video, we'll be focusing on how they were deliberately designed to enhance the athletic challenge. One way of doing this was to include situations that, while not likely to be literally reproduced in combat, were however not unrealistic either. I refer to these as hyper-realistic situations. The design of the kata creates the potential for enhanced athletic challenge. How much of this potential is realized is dependent upon how the kata is performed. Of critical importance here is that neither of the students reacts or initiates an action before it is combatively realistic. If this doesn't happen, there is no real communication going on, no matter how fast or slow the kata is performed. There is no real cause and effect, which means that very little combat athleticism is actually required. So in this kata, proper timing means for the first thrust not moving back until the point is actually a threat. Or when blocking any cut, waiting until the target would become apparent if it was done at combat speed. And likewise all the various evasions in this kata. If a kata is performed with the correct timing, it can be quite challenging, especially if done at high speed. However, the athletic requirement of it can be greatly enhanced by two other factors. The student can consciously wait until the last moment to react. And increasing the level of intent will make a huge difference. When students actually try to hit each other, the gaps between actions are shortened and typically attacks are much faster. It also means that students will get hit, something that never goes away as students improve. In fact, the nature of the kata is such that if students are not getting hit fairly frequently, chances are they are not doing it right. But here's the thing. When a kata is performed with actions properly timed, with the proper intent, and with defensive actions put in at the last moment, it may appear to be as athletically demanding as sparring, but it really isn't. For this to happen, the student must perform the kata as if they have no conscious knowledge of it. That is to say, they must perform the kata as if they have no idea what is coming next. This is absolutely not the same as simply knowing a kata well enough that you don't have to think about what's coming next. Rather, it is referring to a specific state of mind that in Zen is referred to as, amongst other things, munen, mushin, and in Aikido as takamus. To avoid confusion, I refer to it simply as spontaneity. Achieving spontaneity is greatly prized in any of the Zen-based arts, but to do it for even the briefest of times is far from easy. To be able to apply it to an activity such as a Koryu kata that is interactive, dangerous, intense, is extraordinarily difficult. I spend a lot of time describing the process in Flawless Deception. Suffice to say here that it is very arduous and extremely time-consuming. However, without spontaneity, I can think of no way that Koryu kata practice can be as effective as sparring in terms of combat athletic challenge.